This is the 2025 Ford F450 Super Duty. We've recently reviewed the F350 and we're going to show you why this vehicle has more payload, more capacity, and if you're looking at hauling a lot of payload, a large RV, horses, or anything, the F450 is the vehicle you want to look at. Now the vehicles are very similar. When you look at the front end, you're going to see a much bulkier, more muscular front end, and that's because this is a more Super Duty vehicle. It has more towing capacity, more payload, like I said. You still get the stacked lights that are LED, the gigantic Ford logo that lets everyone know what you're driving, and Super Duty embossed across the hood. This has a much more bulbous appearance to it, and it also is very capable. Our test vehicle has the 6.7 liter high output power stroke. We'll talk about the engine specs in just a minute, but underneath this vehicle is what makes it special. First off, you're going to notice a gigantic air dam, and it has tow hooks because this is a real working truck. LED driving lights as well. Under the hood of the F450 is a 6.7 liter high output power stroke backed by a 10-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is about 17 miles to the gallon. We ran almost a full tank through this. And one of the other things you'll note, that high output engine is an additional $3,000, but it is worth every cent, especially if you're hauling something large and something heavy. Here's some additional information you need to know. The standard diesel power stroke engine has 475 horsepower and 1,050 pound-feet of torque, but the high output version, which is in our test vehicle, churns out 500 horsepower and 1,200 pound-feet of torque, and that's the best in class. When it comes to towing capacity, when equipped with the fifth wheel or the gooseneck, that maximum capacity shoots up to over 40,000 pounds. That's where this vehicle truly shines. Behind this gigantic logo is the Ford Co-Pilot 360 2.0, which includes advanced track and as SOS post-crash alert system. Everything you see on the F350 is also available on the F450 as far as safety features. I've been working with F-Series Super Duties since the late 80s. Let's bring in our resident expert, Paul Fix II, who has been driving and hauling with F350s and 450s for decades.
The 2025 F450 is a large departure from the F350 that most people purchase. This has a huge payload ability. Really, the only use for this is hauling a big trailer, whether it's a construction trailer, horse trailer, RV, or car trailer. This is going to do the job. The difference between this and the F350 is specifically payload. It has a larger wheel diameter, but a lower tire aspect ratio, so a harsher ride with no payload. We found the 350 was a very easy car to drive around town without payload. The 450 is specifically for towing. With a non-optional 430 rear gear, it has a lot of initial torque and horsepower to get you off of the start. Specifically when you're hauling over 20,000 pounds, you need that low rear gear. A far departure from the 350 that has an axle ratio down to 3.55 for additional gas mileage. But this is your workhorse. This is the best in the segment. If you're hauling your race cars to Watkins Glen or your horses down to Kentucky, this is the unit that's going to do it, especially with the high output diesel engine, which gets 500 horsepower and a huge amount of torque. Best in the segment. This is your truck.
Paul, thanks so much for your expert analysis. There really is a difference, and like Paul was saying about the wheels, you've got two 25/70R19s, same ride height of the F350, but because there are bigger brakes and larger suspension components to handle that payload, they needed to have a bigger rim. Because of the larger wheel, you have a lower aspect ratio, and that means a rougher ride. And this vehicle has the FX4 package, which means it has skid plates and it's designed for some light off-roading. Important to note, it does make it a rough ride when there's no payload. If you're hauling every single day, you won't notice the difference. This vehicle wants to be hauling, it wants to be working. It's not meant to be a daily driver. You will find that the rear end dances on some of the rough roads that we have here that are under construction while they're paving and repaving. All the variances in the roadway make this a little tougher ride. Up front, mono-beam coil spring front suspension with stabilizer bars, and there is onboard scales so you can use your smart hitch so you don't overload the vehicle. You can see underneath the vehicle that the components are much stronger and much bigger than that of an F350. On the side of the truck, you've got a vent for engine heat, but also it's a platinum F450, letting everyone know you're driving a really nice truck. In addition, that 6.7 liter power stroke turbo diesel is right there on the side of the door. You're not missing out on any of the luxuries from the F350 to the 450. You've got power folding mirrors that do extend, as well as retractable running boards, all the niceties that you would get on an F350, where it used to be you stepped up to the heavier duty, Super Duty, that F550 and 650, and you would lose some of the goodies. Well, in the F450, they put them in because people are using these as daily drivers. Privacy glass in the second row and a step to get into the bed if you need to get back there. Power sliding rear windows and power tailgate are part of the Platinum package. Our test vehicle has Preferred Equipment Package 773A, the FX4 Off-Road Package for $550, which includes skid plates. You will also note that the dual rear wheel covers are a little bit more aggressive here, and that's part of that F450 package. It also has optional mud flaps, which are needed on a vehicle like this. In the back of this vehicle, you've got LED taillights as well as Platinum all the way across the back, and of course, Class 3 towing and all the connections that you need for your trailer brakes. Power tailgate can be operated either by the key fob or by pressing the button it comes down. Of course, there's a step up into the tailgate because that's what Ford has been doing for decades. Our test vehicle has the gooseneck dual hitch kit, which is $525, and the fifth wheel hitch kit for $1,745. That Platinum package we're showing you is $6,500 and does include upfitter switches, Pro Power onboard 2 kilowatt-hour generator, max recline driving seats, we'll show you in just a second, vehicle integration system 2.0 for $400, and that's a 14,000-pound GVWR package. Warranty is 3 years, 36,000 miles, 5 years, 60,000-mile powertrain, and a 5 years, 60,000-mile roadside assistance, and that diesel engine, 5 years, 100,000-mile diesel engine coverage. This tonneau cover is lockable and it's retractable, and it's $2,200, and it's a factory install, so when you get the vehicle, you won't have to put it on afterwards. Also, bed protection is $595 and highly recommended. This is an aluminum bed, but there's nothing like protecting your investment. There are tie downs inside this vehicle as well as tow hooks on the front. This vehicle is really a work truck, but if you're using it as a work truck, you're gonna need a generator, and that's included. Inside are bed lights as well as tie downs, connections for power, for your fifth wheel, and for a generator. The center screen is 12 inches, and there is a head-up display that comes with this vehicle, just like that of the F350. Bang & Olufsen audio with Sirius XM. This is a Sync 4 media, so you're going to get all of your usual media, your phone connections, your navigations, your favorites, your apps are all in here. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto is wireless. Going into your settings, you've got obviously satellite radio. You can sync all your audio. Your vehicle controls are here as well, and you can adjust the settings as you want. There's lots of different settings. You can spend a lot of time going through these settings to set up everything exactly the way you want. Once you've done it, you won't have to do it again, which is nice. You've also got the massaging seats. You've got for driver and passenger, and the max recline seats, which are really nice to have if you're using this for a long haul, you're on a long road trip. Really makes a big difference. Ambient lighting is also one of the options. You can adjust that and customize it as you want. Vehicle hotspot in addition. All of your information is here. And into the features, you get your driver assistance, which is all those safety features I talked about on the outside, same as that of the F350. Your pre-collision assist, exit warning, whatever you want, turn it on, turn it off, set it up to your own liking. Additional running boards, you want them out or not. Pro Power on board, that's going to be your power that's in the bed of the truck. You can set that up and it shows the draw in your generator mode. Really nicely done. Zone lighting as well, really excellent feature, especially if you're loading up at night. It shows all the lights around it, which is really nice. Towing, you've got your Pro Trailer Assist, which is top of the line. If you're not good at backing up, which you learn to do when you've been doing it for a long time, you can use the Pro Trailer Assist to back that up for you. Really nice. And your onboard scales, which is really important when it comes to payload. And what that does is it tells you what's in the bed. I do not weigh 150 pounds, but as you add weight to the vehicle, whatever that may be, accessories, whatever that is, it'll increase the weight so it shows its full bed capacity of 4,430 pounds. Very nice to have that. Your fuel economy and everything you need is here. You can adjust the weights, the temperatures, your degree, whatever. You set this up how you want it, including a bed camera. You want your satellite radio, your navigation, your phone, all your trip information. We've been idling here, so 12.7 is not a very good assessment. And it had about 700 miles empty, so we're somewhere around 15 to 17 is pretty normal, something to keep in mind. In addition to that, you got your smart hitch system, really great, top of the line in your owner's manual, which I prefer a paper owner's manual because if something goes wrong, you're going to be unhappy when you can't access it through this system. Going back to your audio system, top of the line, choose your stations, whatever you like. Below the center screen, you get your trailer brakes, your drive modes, which you can change. They change in front of you. You've got normal, slippery, off-road, eco, which is really great when you're just making a long haul, your tow haul, of course. Further down, you got all of your audio system that you can use. Thank you for putting a real dial. Really appreciate that. Climate control, super easy to use. 3-stage heated, 3-stage ventilated, and a heated steering wheel that is a single stage. Really nice to have. Adjust everything here. On the right side, you get your 12 volt and your regular AC outlet. Further down, wireless charging, USB-C, USB-A charging, more storage. One of the nice features is you can put your cups here for whatever you might want, maybe your sandwich there. If you need 4 cup holders, you can slide that over and you have that ability. It's very nice, flexible space. There's storage on the side of the consoles as well. I've just got the key in my covers for my cameras there. All nice extra storage because there's never enough storage in a truck. Press this button will give you the upper glove box storage. Regular glove box storage is right here. Big. The interior is quite impressive, as you can see, including those max reclining seats. They're leather. Some people love them, some people don't want them. You can always sleep in the second row if you really want to. Speaking of the second row, the seats fold down 40-60. There's storage underneath, and it is lockable storage. And there's cup holders in the armrest in the center. Auxiliary switches, which are needed on a Super Duty. Both the F350 and the 450 have the same switch console up above, and that includes a spot for your sunglasses and the ability to open and close that rear piece of glass. Head-up display, normal Ford steering wheel with the Platinum listed here. All your controls are the same. Still has the shifter on the column, which is excellent, and you can go up and down on the gears right here. Further down, this allows you to move the mirrors in and out. You've got your lighting, opening up the bed of the truck, of course lighting as well. And this is adjustable pedals, which is really nice to have because if you're shorter or taller, you can adjust those pedals, and that's available on all the Super Duty trucks. One nice feature this vehicle has that we did not have in the F350 that we reviewed is the safe. $350. And you've got a nice safe. You can put firearms in here, you can put money in here, you can put documents in here, whatever you need. And it has a combination switch on top. Very nice, nice Ford built in. It does take up storage, but if you need it, it's a good place to have it. Nice leather material, real wood, all soft materials, very nicely done. Very premium. There's your panoramic glass roof. Driving a big truck like this every day is not a problem. Unless you're going to a grocery store, then you gotta park way the heck out because, as you know, if you own one of these trucks, you take up a spot and a half in length because this is a crew cab. It is a dually, so you got the width, and it's a long bed, so it's gonna take up as much space as it wants. So I just figure I'll just park way out. It's just a lot easier and less stressful for not just you, but the other vehicles around you. But that's just one small piece of owning a large vehicle. When you're hauling a trailer, you need visibility. This vehicle has it. You're in a higher seating position than that of the F350. You got more towing capacity. You've got the larger differential. You've got the larger transmission case. You've got everything that's more than an F350. And this vehicle is extremely capable. Now, its competitors, as you're well aware, is going to be the Chevrolet and GMC as well as the Ram. And I want you to see this. I'm on a rough road that I drove on the F350. This is the same exact road that I drove. And the difference I noticed right away is the shorter aspect ratios on the tires make this a very rough ride, surprisingly, because it wants payload. This vehicle wants to work. It is a work truck. If you're using it and you've got stuff in the bed on a regular basis, you probably won't even notice it. But if you're driving it unloaded like we are right now, that's when you can see the difference because less aspect ratio is going to not be absorbing the bumps and undulations of the road. This is a stiffer chassis as well. This is a real work truck. This is not your daily driver necessarily, but it could be. It could be because it has all the luxuries. It has all the niceties of things that we all want when it comes to any vehicle. You want all the goodies, you got it all. You've got all the technology, you have all the top safety, it's all included. And that's what makes this vehicle quite enjoyable to own. People that own these trucks use them as work trucks. They're either using it on a construction site or they're using it to haul things or tow things or whatever it might be. This is a true work truck. Ford has had the best-selling Super Duty truck for like 40 years, and there's a reason for it. They build trucks that last, and that's why I've always owned Fords. I've driven the Ram, which is a really nice truck. I've also driven the Chevy Silverado, which has improved dramatically. Very nice vehicles, GMC, I like them a lot. So there's a lot of changes and improvements over time. But one of the things that really stands out, Ford keeps stepping up the game so that it's not a penalty to own a large truck like this, a truck that truly performs. Overall, the seats are comfortable. The max reclining seats are kind of cool to have, especially I've done a lot of long road trips, and I'll tell you one of the nicest things is to sleep laying down, because you can recline a seat only back so far otherwise, and these max recline seats just allow you to take a break, and I think that makes a big difference, especially when you're hauling. Love the seating position, excellent brakes, good pickup. This high output motor is really nice. I wish I had it in mine. I own a 22 Super Duty. I haven't stepped up to the 25 yet, but I'll tell you, this vehicle makes me have trouble deciding, do I want a 350 or a 450? So we'll have to go back and take pen to paper and see what makes sense for us. And you should do the same thing. Of course, check with your insurance agent, find out what makes sense. You've got all the safety, so that will help lower your insurance rates compared to some of the competitors. So it's always important to test drive, and of course, check with your insurance agent. The engine is smooth. It's super smooth, actually. They did a really nice job putting this together. The 2025 Ford F-Series Super Duty F450 outperforms the competition, and they're well aware of that, and they're going to be upping their game as well. But in the meantime, you can step into this vehicle with more towing capacity, more payload, and it starts at $94,000. Our test vehicle was loaded with all the goodies and came in at just under $112,000. Very close in price to that F350. But again, what are you doing with the vehicle will make a difference. You need it for a large RV, you're hauling horses, whatever it might be, you want to go with the higher payload capacity. If you're thinking, I like to drive this thing daily, I want all the comforts that are in both of these vehicles, very similar loaded, which is really good for consumers, then the F350 might fit for you. But the prices are so similar, so it's really important that you test drive both of them, make a decision. Remember, that rear axle ratio is going to kill your fuel economy by about 1 or 2 miles to the gallon. It also depends on the way you drive and what you're hauling. And of course, you've got that lower aspect ratio on the tire, so that's going to make a difference on your daily drive if you don't have a payload in back. Just important things to keep in mind. I'd like to thank Paul Fix II for his expert analysis and decades of driving these vehicles, so you're getting real-world advice. I've been a dealer trainer for these vehicles, and so I'm really aware of what it's capable of, and what Ford is offering right now for 2025 is quite impressive. If you drive all the competitors, you'll see why people love the F450 Super Duty. Now, if you have any additional comments or questions, Paul and I will be answering them. Put them down in the comments below. If you'd like to support our channel, you can buy me a cup of coffee. That's in the description, as well as all of our social media. We appreciate your time. Don't forget that all the car reviews live on Car Smarts, and all the car news is on Car Coach Reports. I'm Lauren Fix. Thank you so much for watching.